This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Welcome back, everybody, to the Laugh Cry Club. I'm Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Chelsea, and if you are an imperfect human who laughs and cries, then this podcast is for you or somebody who you love, who you want to invite into the club.
Well,
Yes.
It could also be for someone you don't love, but you're like, hey, you might need some therapy talk. We are here for you.
I mean, that's real. That is real, and this is real talk. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so if someone sent you this podcast, just maybe reflect. You might need therapy. Just kidding. But we are 3 licensed therapists here to normalize feelings, talk about hard things so that maybe you can start to talk about hard things, because that's how we break patterns and that's how we build a healthier life. We have over 20 years of experience each, so we know a thing or two about mental health. So every week we start with a laugh and a cry, and then we will talk about a topic. Today we are talking about how to manage conflict during Thanksgiving, because guess what? It's this week. If you're listening in real time, it's happening. Family time again, holiday time here. So we're going to give you some tips of how to manage any conflict or any just like weird feelings of people that you see and you're like, oh, this is hard. We know it can be very emotional during this time. So on that note, Chelsea, who's going first for the laugh and the cry?
Well, the laugh and the cry this week is going to start with our lovely Rebecca. Rebecca was just looking down like, I don't know what are you looking at? Your face?
I don't know what I was looking at.
I don't know. You just were looking down, and
She's
I just
reflecting.
I just felt
reflecting.
it felt like a contemplative look. That's why. And I was like, oh, maybe she's thinking of something that I want to hear about. So Rebecca, tag, mama. You're it. What you got?
I have so many cries and like no laughs. So
What?
I think that's what I was contemplating about. Like, oh, let me bring the mood down here.
Sometimes we have those hard weeks. Yeah, tell us about your
It's been
sad week.
incredibly stressful, and I have like probably about 3 weeks ago I decided I was going to do this thing to like really pay attention to cortisol levels and try to be in this sense of calm and not have my central nervous system like rapid firing for various different things, you know, and just like try to be in this state of calm. And this is really not working for my plan. So yeah, we have 3 senior dogs at our house, and we just got Fritz healed up. He's one of our dogs. He's a GSP. He's great.
Hold on, what's a GSP?
A German short-haired pointer.
Oh, okay.
A lot of pointer fans out there love them. And so he's healed up. We're good. Our dog Ruby, we had to rush to the emergency vet the other night. And, you know, anytime you are taking your dog to an emergency vet, one, you're concerned about your dog. But I think my mind always goes to, this is going to cost a shit ton of money, right? Because it's not like you can pull out your human health card for your pet and have it paid for.
And I know pet insurance is such a doozy for some people. Like it's so hard to kind of determine the cost. But yeah, it's hard.
And I think, you know, when because we adopt them as seniors, it's like, no pet insurance is really going to
cover them. Yeah.
So it's like, it's a nursing home here for dogs. And took her, you know, it's just, you're all hyped up and scared. She went there because she was just having labored breathing and vomiting, which is not like her. And turns out they did, you know, the x-rays, they did an ultrasound, everything. She had some gas bubbles, but there was no obstructions, which I was concerned about. So like nothing blocking the airways. They did say she could have had aspirated, which is where you vomit and then take it into your lungs. To take her to the vet the next day, probably need to do some more x-rays just to see what her lungs are like. So she came home. It was fine. But you know, it's sad being at the ER because there's a dog behind you and its eyeballs kind of basically hanging out, and, you know, feeding tubes and bringing the dog in because they got shaken by it. It's, you know, everybody's just panicked, and it's so lovely to be able to go someplace where they're like, I got you. It's really nice the way they hold space there. It was, I don't know if anybody's ever been to a veg clinic, but you can be there with your pet. Like everybody's in this huge room together. So it's great. Take her to our vet, and Ruby has double pneumonia. She sounds pretty terrible. I keep telling myself it must have been not severe, or they would have hospitalized her, right? So we got home, we sent home with medications. We got some more meds yesterday, but this poor girl is not sleeping. She's 15, so she already has weakness in her back legs, and now she can't really walk around herself, so I'm carrying her everywhere. And then it leads me to gratitude because she's a little over 15 pounds and she can just be laying on the ground, and I'm so grateful I have the ability. I can just scoop her up.
Did you say 15?
No, not 115.
Yeah, no, like 50 pounds?
Like 52 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you said, I heard 15, like 15, and I was like,
I heard 15 too.
And I was like, I thought Ruby was bigger than that. And I had this moment where I was like,
52 pounds.
Ruby
Sorry.
and Kim,
I'm so stressed out. So I can't even tell my story. My system's so fired up.
Continue.
Crazy,
I just had to have the visual correct in my head.
No, I had it in my head fucked up too. I was like, wait a second, what dog are we talking about? And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. And I'm thinking 15 pounds. I mean, Kipsy's 6, so that's 2 of Kipsy's.
Right. I was like, 2 Kipsy's.
You're so grateful you can pick her up.
And I'm just thinking, okay, all right, we digress.
52. It's leading me to this place of gratitude. Like my body has the ability to do this. I mean, it's not like just a bag of dog food, because you can just throw that around. Like you have to be gentle with her neck and her leg, and you just have to like scoop her up. And to be able to carry her around the house, I'm very thankful about that. But she's just it's really terrible. I mean,
so right now she's home. But she's struggling.
I've never been around anybody that has pneumonia, but it's like constant hacking, a lot of stuff coming up everywhere. At this point, I'm like, I've been trying to protect carpets, and I'm like, fuck it, like just get it out. Let's get you well. I'll deal with that later. But yeah, it's just, not sleeping at night. Anytime she's breathing, it's like a rattle.
It's like,
hacking.
And you're hyper vigilant about how she's doing. So you're just not like, you can't calm down.
No, it's just like, this is the human experience when you're stressed out. And of course, it's like, oh, great, right? Before the holidays, too, because I think we all kind of have some sense of stress, too.
Sure.
But yeah, that's it. I've just been going to the vet. So we bought a $25 birthday cake that has now turned into $2,000, and it will be more than that before this is over.
Oh, because they're like, they can't handle this on their system.
Yeah, I think what she did is it was a little bit flaky, and I think she was eating it. Because we've learned she's got this underlying condition now, and she may have inhaled some into her lungs. We couldn't have predicted it. That's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like, why did I buy that fucking birthday cake?
You can't predict that, though.
I know. It's just, that's life.
That's life. Ugh, God.
Yeah, so I'm going to pass this over to Joy.
Well, Rebecca, my heart goes out to you. I just so know that feeling. That actually happened to JT a handful of years ago in terms of getting pneumonia from the same thing.
It's so scary.
It's so scary. And this was a time when it was 2020. You couldn't go into the vet to be with your pet. You had to just drop them off at the front door and rush. And I was sitting in the car just bawling. And same thing. They were like, it was probably from inhaling at the time. I was puppy raising my first dog, so I was giving a lot of training treats. And when I give training treats, I give them very fast. And I was doing the same thing with JT, but he doesn't take treats fast. So I think he inhaled it, because I gave it to him too fast. And I was kicking myself. But I'm like, you can't do that. Sending love to Ruby Rubes. What's her nickname? What do you call her? Ruby Doobie?
Ruby Doobie.
Ruby Doobie.
Yeah, I sing the Scooby-Doo song to her, like, Ruby Doobie Doo.
Where are you?
Yeah.
That's cute. And that makes more sense for her size, not 15 pounds.
No, she's 52.
She's like Scooby.
Or I call her Rubes.
Oh, well, I'm going to give her lots of love from afar and hope that she has JT turned around. She can turn around. Let's hope they turn around. Because, I just remember the vet being like, I'm not sure. Pneumonia is really hard on animals. And I was like, no. They can turn around. They're so resilient. Animals are so resilient. Okay. My laugh and cry of the week is I want to introduce a new category, is like more of an aha moment because I don't really have a cry. But my laugh.
I love this. How
We
fun.
are going rogue on the Laugh Cry Club.
We're
Laugh,
expanding.
cry, and aha.
My laugh was just something that happened recently where, like, you know, this time of year, everyone's on edge, or even just like, I don't know, parking lots are a mess. I was driving to Home Goods. I feel like driving, traffic, parking lots, like, brings out the worst in people. I can be one of those people that, like, if someone cuts you off, you just like, it's such second nature for people to just like go off or be angry and take their emotions out on random strangers. I have been doing this thing recently where anytime, I don't know, sometimes I can be a little, I'm a decent driver. I think I'm a good driver, but sometimes I have
You are a very great driver.
Okay.
You've driven me and a whole bunch of other people around. It was amazing.
Thank you. I am a good driver.
And I heard good things about it. I wasn't in the car, but I heard really good things, like feedback of like, Joy's a really good driver. That's true.
Well, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad I can do.
Confirmed, guys.
5
Joy's
stars
great at driving.
5 stars on Uber. That's what I
Yeah,
always
she
say.
is.
So I was in the parking lot, and sometimes, like, as like recently, I don't know if it's like perimenopause, but I'll be a little spacey. Not in the sense that I like lose track of where I am, but I will just be like, oh my gosh, I missed my turn, or like, you know, whatever. So I was in this parking lot leaving, and I had Leela in the back seat with me. We had just done like a little training run to Home Goods, which is a really good training for her because it's a lot of people. It's very tight spaces. There's a lot of shit everywhere. Not literal, but just like it's packed full if you've ever been into Home Goods. And so I was like, doing a turn out of the parking lot into this, you know, just another lane. It wasn't like a highway or a road. It was just like within the same parking lot. But there was a guy like waiting for me to move so he could turn into the parking lot, right? And I started to just slow down because I think I was thinking of something else and I was going really slow, also approaching a stop sign. And sometimes I will literally just like take my sweet time because I'm trying to just not be in a rush these days. So I like intentionally drive a little slower. Like that's just like a mind trick for myself. But I must have just been like super ditzy daisy. And he was looking at me and he got so pissed, like throwing up his hands like, why, where are you going? Like move, like kind of did this move thing to me. And he was so angry. And I looked at him and I gave him this huge smile and I went and I waved like just to disarm, almost like doing this thing of like, not to piss him off, which I'm sure it pissed him off more. But I was like, why do we have to be so mean to each other? And you don't know me, and I'm a very lovely human, but just because I was going a little bit slow and in a daze in my own little brain, just like driving around this parking lot where it's not harming anybody to go just a little bit slower, and he was clearly upset with me. So that is my like laugh at myself because I just started laughing because I was like, there's nothing else that I can do. And I just waved at him like, have a nice day. Sorry that you're being such a jerk to me. So that's another PSA to everyone out there is if you find that you get a little bit of a road rage, just remember every driver is just doing the best they can. And it might be 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a very sweet person behind that wheel. There's always going to be a jerk, but they probably could use some love too. So let's give each other a little grace on the road. When I find myself getting frustrated with drivers, I pretend it's my sweet parents behind the wheel. And I'm like, okay, like I would never give grief to my sweet parents because they are, oh my gosh, I will protect them to, you know, I will throw myself on the sword for them type of thing, you know? So I always just pretend it's like someone I really, really, really love. Or I always think that it might be a cop undercover or just someone who's off duty.
Of course you do.
Your Catholic upbringing is coming out.
Rebecca.
It's a cop undercover.
Or like an off-duty
Only
cop.
Joy is like, might get pulled for what? For going too slow? Is that what you're talking about?
No, for getting
Chelsea.
mad. For just like, if I was to get mad or if I cut someone off, I'm like, ooh, what if this was like a...
What if she gets arrested for being mad?
I think that might be a cop undercover.
Oh my God. I'm dying.
Should we buy
okay?
this alcohol?
Yeah.
I mean, I do have my
No,
driver's
but what if
license.
you cut off a cop that's just like off duty? And
Then you do.
Then you cut them off because they're
They
a
can't do
human
shit.
and they can't do shit. Yeah. And you know what? Fuck them. They're probably cutting people off too.
Yeah.
Just
It's
kidding,
true.
cops. We love you. I don't know what
love
I'm
you.
saying. Can we delete anything about the cops?
Actually, if you're a cop listening to this, please let us know. Like, if you're off duty and somebody cuts you off, what happens?
Do you put that little light that's in your car on top?
Or do you write down their license plate and you're like, I'm going to go after their family?
I would love to know. I mean, I should know this. I used to do ride-alongs all the time when I was at the DA's office. Like, I thought it was so fun.
I really wanted you to say, I should know this. I've been in the back of cop cars so many times in handcuffs. That's what I wanted you to say so bad. How good would that have
Wouldn't
been
that
at the
be
Laugh Cry Club?
so funny?
Just
all
Joy
of a sudden
has an aha moment in the back of the cop car with the little handcuffs.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine all of a sudden I was like, by the way, there was this one time and I just bust out with this story that is so the opposite of anything you've ever known about me. That would be.
You got arrested for jaywalking, folks.
Unfortunately, I don't have any of those. My first ticket was tailgating. Tailgating, and I'll never forget the day because I was 18. I could finally vote, and I was on my way to vote, and I was excited.
Don't impede with my civic duty.
She's like, I'm so excited. I'm going to drive close. Not fuck you. I'm going to drive close. I'm so excited. That's what you got. They pulled you over.
They pulled me over. Not only that, it was so annoying because I was on the highway and it was in traffic. And I just remember thinking,
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I remember being so annoyed and I had to go to like a whole driving class for it. I was so pissed because I was like, like get it off your record. But I was like, tailgating? Really? I didn't even get pulled over for something cool. Like I can't even do bad well. Like
you didn't burn your rubber in the Home Goods parking lot and get pulled over for it. Could you see it?
God, I know. I need to like get myself in trouble more often and just do
But
something.
as therapists, we're like held to such a line. It's so annoying. I mean, other professions, they get arrested and they go back to work the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Like attorneys.
Right.
They do all kinds of terrible things.
Shoot, all the fucking time.
All the time.
Drinking and driving.
Hold on. I knew an attorney who couldn't even drive because of so many DUIs, had a driver.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Oh my God.
Really? And guess what? They're practicing the law. Okay.
And they probably make so much money. Ugh.
Enough money to have a driver.
Yeah.
I did not say Uber. Did you notice Uber didn't come out of my mouth? I said driver.
Actual like salaried
That's
driver.
our driver. Therapist drivers are Uber or Lyft drivers.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can
Or
afford.
Joy.
Or me.
Or Joy.
Yeah.
Joy is the only therapist driver for the whole state of Colorado.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, now I feel like I don't want to tell you my aha moment because you're going to be like, of course, Joy.
I thought that was your aha moment.
Yeah.
No,
was
that
this
was my
not the
laugh.
aha? What was
No,
this?
this is my laugh. That was my laugh. I have not a cry, but I have an aha.
All right.
And
give us the
let's hear it.
aha.
well, it's okay. Now I feel self-conscious talking about it, but
Yeah, you should. Yeah, right. Come on. This Laugh Cry Club. You say
my
whatever
hands
you want.
are sweating.
What?
Just because because I'm like, okay, of course, Joy. It makes me feel even more like, oh, you're such a do-gooder. No, but
Okay,
really,
we love you. And
know
we
you
need
do.
people like you in the world to make up for people like me and Rebecca.
Yeah. Yeah, you balance us out. Like you're on one side and there's us over here. Like
I will balance. Yes, I will balance you
Yeah.
out. Okay, but this truly this came last week where I had a really hard week emotionally. Like I have talked before about like, okay, perimenopause happens. I'm taking HRT, so I'm kind of like trying to really get settled and balanced in my hormones. I had to decide last week that I absolutely have to stop drinking alcohol because I don't like drink a lot, but even like the smallest amount, I was realizing that it was screwing with my system to a point where I was like moody, I wasn't sleeping, and I was so frustrated because I'm like, I'm not even like that much of a social drinker, but I'll have wine at night at my house with my husband, whatever. So that was like my aha, was like putting my health above everything else. For like substances are kind of weird because there's such a like fine line of, how you incorporate them into your life and like what it means and societal pressures of like, do you or don't you? And so it was one of those things where you're just kind of like sick of your BS because I was so just moody and having a really hard day. And I was like, I know it's because of this. Like I know, well, let's put it this way. I did an experiment. I was like, I'm going to cut it out for a week and see how I feel. And I wear an Oura ring because it like, tells me all the data. And so the Oura ring confirmed that I have been sleeping like a champ, doing so much better mentally, feeling like I'm in a better mood. So that was my aha, that I was like, I need to make a promise to myself finally to close this chapter, even though it's not a lot. For anyone out there who's kind of like struggling with that or kind of thinking about that. I think the rhetoric that I always have is like, you have to have, like, it's not even that much. I was like under the daily recommended dose, and that can really screw with you, especially because substances are objectively like just addictive. And so I made that decision, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be fine with this and work through it. And it was definitely an aha for me, because I've kind of like gone in and out of that in my life with, just for how healthy I am and the things that I train for, and like diet and exercise. And so we'll see how it goes, but I feel really good about that decision.
Joy, that's funny. My girlfriend and I were just talking about that and how much now drinking impacts the night sweats, the poor sleep. Her and I, similar to you, like, we're not big drinkers. Like, if you hang out with me, you'll see I'll nurse a drink for 2 drinks and I'm wasted. And so I sip, I water, I put ice in a lot of my drinks, water them down. And I love to have a drink, but we were just talking about that like this phase in our life, the impact, it's not, I used to not drink a lot. I just don't like being hungover. I don't like to waste my day.
Right.
I hate that feeling. But now it's like the sleep part. It's like, I mean, it's
huge impact. Like, I didn't realize how much of an impact it was having on my life until I kind of sat back and I was like, oh, I'm starting to have, and it's really, we can kind of really comparatively suffer with these things where I'm like, well, I'm not like getting drunk every day, but I'm like, you know what though? Have you ever seen Parks and Rec? Chris Traeger, Rob Lowe. So Rob Lowe plays Chris Traeger on Parks and Rec, and he's like this super, he's such a funny character, but he's a super healthy health nut. Like, in every scene, he has like protein powders behind him on his desk, and like everyone knows him as this like very fit, fun guy. And he calls himself a microchip because he's like, everything is set to perfection, and anything that goes off like throws off the microchip. So I joke with my friends that I'm a microchip, that I'm like anything small. But because as I get older, perimenopause symptoms are definitely just a bitch, that something as small as having a glass of wine a night is throwing it off. It's frustrating because there's also kind of this loss of like just being able to be 25 and handle anything, where you could just drink all night and go to work the next day and be like, oh, well, I guess I'm a little hungover. And that just isn't the case. So it's kind of accepting the aging and the making changes. Here to support anyone else who's going through that.
Well, it's an act of self-love and an act of self-care. And I think that's what we talk about when we're looking at our health. Our health isn't something that's just nominal. Like, this is the most important thing in the whole entire world. Having gone through death, walking, my late husband through death at age 52, who was healthy his whole life and never had one fucking nothing his entire life. It really shines a light that what can you do, what's within your kind of locus of control. And then I think not more importantly, but we can't control what type of health stuff happens. Sometimes shit just happens. It happened with Steve. That just happened. But how do you want the quality of your life to be while you're here, while you're healthy? I mean, these are things that we can think about. I mean, I have like sugar addiction. And I don't actually like to use the word addiction, but I can eat copious amounts of sugar and I love it and get really high off of it. And like, then I crash, and then I'm moody, and then I'm in a shit mood, and then I love sugar. I don't like the way that it makes me feel irritable and hungover. Like, I get hungover. Like, when I stop eating candy, it's a 3-day detox for me.
Oh, wow. Like, mood-wise, you feel it?
Totally. I feel like I'm hungover, like I'd been drinking alcohol, because I'm such a binger. Now I'm not. I've broken the habit, so I can eat like some nerd clusters and not eat the entire bag. There wasn't physical consequence. Like, I've never gained weight. I've never had a weight issue. I've never had, like, it's not been about that. It's what it was doing to my mood and at my energy and how I felt. And so anyways, I could go on, but these are important choices.
Yeah.
And we all have these choices. So if you recognize something's not serving you, you have a choice of how do I want to limit this or eliminate this. We all have that opportunity to do it, because we deserve to have good health while we are on this earth, so we can do the things we want to do.
And that's the motivation for me. That's the huge motivation, because I so value my health, and it's a different time in my life. So I can't treat this as if I was like 25 or 30 or even 35 or even 40, now I'm 48. And so I think that that's another piece where I'm like, you can't make this decision as if you were 30, being like, I can just do whatever I want, or maybe I'll just drink socially. I'm like, that just isn't going to help me anymore. So, all right, Chelsea.
So we'll give you drugs, Joy.
Awesome. Sounds great. Sign me up.
And we'll hope that you don't get pulled over and arrested
by any undercover cops.
By no undercover cops. Okay, laughs and cries. Okay, so my laugh was very funny, actually. I do this thing where I play tricks with God and the universe and all of these things, and I not play tricks. I ask for signs. I'll think about what's important to me and I'll ask for signs. And I've done this, for years. I don't know where I started this. I don't know where this came, but this is something I've done forever. If you listen to an early episode, I had it with a llama. And I saw a llama. Like, I have weird things. So this time I was thinking about two things that are really important to me. One, I've always hustled to make money. I've always been good at making money. I've always been good at like entrepreneur, but I live and breathe when I get into that work. And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I want the balance. I want a healthy balance, especially since I'm the only parent right now. And I just want time freedom and ease. And so I was thinking like, when I go back, I work a little bit right now. I do some coaching and I see a couple private practice clients, but I was like, okay, what is it like? How does this want to be? And then I was like, okay, just surrender to God and just like, if I'm supposed to have ease and balance in this area, like give me a sign that will happen, that I'm not going to go back to the way that I always have done things. And that's going to be a green flag. And I was like, okay, green flag, whatever. And then I was thinking about how much love I have at my heart. I am like a person who loves, if you're one of my friends, you know this, like I have a lot of friends and I don't just like them. Like I love them. My heart, there's no limit on my love. And I was thinking about that. Like, I wonder if I'll ever love romantically again. Like, will that be a thing where I like actually love a man, which is harder for me than loving women.
A little more complicated. Yep.
Yeah, that is definitely a more, I don't know. It's just different for me. And I was like, okay, well, if you are going to like ever like fall in love and have like a real partner again, which I'm fine either way. I was like, you'll see in my head, I get the visual. That's what happens. I think about this thing and then I get a visual that goes with it. And it was a fucking green tennis ball. And I'm like, okay, so we're rolling that one out. That's like, where am I going to see a tennis ball? So when I was driving, I kept seeing green flag after green flag after green flag everywhere. I guess, I don't know if they're like working on gas lines or something, but there's all these I couldn't stop seeing green flags. And then I kind of forgot about the tennis ball thing. And fast forward, it was like 6 days later, girlfriend of mine like invited me to go for a walk and talk, which we've never done before. She's like, do you want to just go for a walk and talk? I'm like, okay. So I'm like, she's like, I can come to your neighborhood. I'm like, I'll meet you by the gym. So we're walking and our first lap, and there it is, this tennis ball. And I bust out laughing. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I was asking for this sign. And I like grab, and I have the tennis ball in my car now. But I just started laughing so hard because I'm like, it's like, I don't know. These things happen and it's so bizarre that it happens. I ask and it happens.
You do that a lot. And it's so funny you bring this up today because I just listened to this episode with Oprah and Laura Lynn Jackson, who wrote the book Signs and is this medium that talks about signs. And I'm like, you're doing exactly that, where it's like signs from the universe. And something she said that was so lovely that made me think of you too, Chelsea, was that we always ask for signs from our loved ones, and to know that they actually are always there. Like, even though the sign, like we'll see a sign and we'll be like, oh my gosh, but they are always present. And the sign is kind of, and I love that because it's like, they're never not there. They're always there. But the sign that we ask for is more for this like human validation, and they love to give it to us and they love to be there for us. And I'm just like, oh, it was so cool. So I'll link that episode in the show notes too, because it's such a beautiful reminder of like connecting to our loved ones.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and I need to look at that. I haven't heard of that person, so I need to look and see.
She's so sweet.
Oh, okay, I'm going to listen to it. So that was my laugh. I just think it's so funny when those kind of things happen. And I love that I don't know, I'm going to say it's a gift or something where
you're super tapped in.
Yeah,
you're
super tapped in.
It's amazing. So my cry was, I have not spoken to my mother since Steve died. Yeah, there was some stuff that went on and I had to I was very boundaried, and my focus was on healing myself so I could be with Miles and Charlie. And after Steve died, that was it. It's me, Miles, Charlie, any other bullshit radically eliminated from my life. And this included any sort of that chaotic family stuff that can be toxic that we are going to talk about today. So it was my mom's birthday. I felt ready to call her, and I wanted to call her, and I wanted to talk to her. I did. Towards sort of the end of the conversation, she started crying and she apologized to me and took ownership for what she had done that had really hurt me. And we talked through it, and I was crying too. It was it's going to make me cry now. It's one of those things that if you've gone through death and you've had any sort of chaos in your family, it's almost like a secondary death. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like I lost this person and now I lost these other people who, whatever, couldn't manage their own stuff. And I've been a therapist long enough and I've done enough self-work that I know I don't internalize these things. I don't take these things personally, meaning that I'm not like, what did I do? How did I do this? I am very boundaried, but it was really nice to be able to have this conversation openly with my mom and say like, yeah, it devastated me. And I felt like I lost my husband, and then I like lost my mom because I couldn't have a relationship with you because it was just not healthy. So anyways, big laughs, big cries. And now we're pivoting into our topic of holidays and conflict. So this kind of goes along that same line, and I'm going to open it up with that holidays can bring out the best in us. We make this beautiful food, we attend these beautiful parties, we get ready, we're with all these people who we love. It opens up your unfinished business, okay? All those old roles, all those old expectations, all those old family dynamics, those come up. And we can feel really little. I mean, when I talked to my mom on the phone, I did not feel like a 47-year-old woman when we had this conversation. I felt like a little girl, and then this parent like say the hard right. You can't help but go back into these roles. And so the family holidays are going to bring up stuff for most individuals. And we're here at the Laugh Cry Club today to give you some tips and tricks of how to kind of work through those things and to normalize the adult you and the child you and the sister you and the ex-wife you and the mother you and all these different roles that you've been in and how those come up.
You know, what I call all that stuff that we bring to these events, I call it the leftovers. Like you're already coming with the leftovers to this family Thanksgiving. So
good.
Everybody, let's leave your leftovers at home. And you can take, extra food home, but don't bring it to the event.
How do we not bring it to the event?
It's a great question. I was going to ask you all the same thing.
Well, first of all, Chelsea, I love how you called it unfinished business because we have to call it for what it is. So how you, like with anything, it's awareness. If you know what your hot button is for going into any family event, you want to make sure that you're aware of it and then recognize and be prepared for how to deal with it. So don't just walk into any event thinking, oh, this is going to happen again. And then so-and-so's going to say something and then I'm going to get upset. Like set the scene and make an intention of how to do it differently. That would be step one.
So, and I'm going to add to that, Joy. So the awareness is the leftovers, right, Rebecca? Like I have this awareness that I have unfinished business.
Unfinished business, yeah.
And I'm going to show up knowing that there's a vulnerability there. We're vulnerable. You know, we can't help but not, and vulnerability is great. Okay. So let's not like poo poo it or whatever. Like vulnerability is an awesome characteristic to have, and it can be empowering rather than debilitating if you have the awareness, like you said, Joy. And I think we start off with awareness, and we start off with this self-connection with ourself to be tethered. Or if you know what those leftovers are and you have someone in the family, like I have my really close sister, I can be like, listen, I'm going to feel this. I want you to sit next to me. Like you can start to kind of orchestrate or to put in those
bring
protective.
An ally in. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've had clients who they sit with the kids. They'd rather sit at the kid table than the adult table. If you have kids, it's a great excuse because you have to go take care of them. I loved that. I loved being able to like leave any event because my kid, with the kid, I did it with cancer too.
Such a great excuse too. That was like, sorry, I can't. The kids, I got to do this.
It makes you boundaried.
Yep.
Because you're thinking of somebody else other than yourself. So you're like, I can't even afford to drain myself right now.
Yeah. I love the trick with your sister too, because I bet that's also a diffuser where you can like bump each other under the table, or just like if you have to have a reaction, you can do it with one another, or like a gaze looking at each other, you know, rolling your eyes at each other, like just these like secret kid jokes that kind of diffuse the situation if you're feeling that steam come up.
You know, Chelsea, you were talking about kind of making this excuse to go to the kids' table. I think it's completely okay for you to come up with a pre-excuse to get you out of any situation. It could involve another person that's going with you, or you could just already formulate it like, things are getting really uncertain here and unsafe for me personally at this family event. So then I start thinking, I've already created this out for myself that, you know, I have a person coming over at 1:00. They had messaged me right before. They're kind of going through something. I got to go and handle the situation, or, you know, be there for them. But it's been great seeing you all. I'll stay in touch or whatever. Like, make an excuse up for you prior to going.
Or I would say to that same thing, Rebecca, just give yourself permission to leave early, to show up late,
with no excuse.
Yeah.
Because you don't owe an excuse. You can just be like, sorry.
Yeah, if you need to cry because you're missing a loved one, then you give yourself permission to cry. Like that is probably going to happen to me this Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was Steve's favorite holiday. I'm very anxious about Thanksgiving. I feel the whole holiday thing has me spun out.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you doing it at your house?
No, on purpose I'm not. So I'm going to California. So
nice.
Our Thanksgivings used to be either here or with my sister. We would switch off. So we know I don't really cook. Besides like egg and toast, okay? So, and I bake.
You prepare items.
Yeah, I prepare packaged food.
I'm the same way, Chelsea. We're ordering our dinner from Whole Foods and heating it up.
Yeah,
so that's no shame. I do not cook.
So we're going to California, and I'm giving myself permission to cry if I need to. I'm giving myself, I'm tearing up now. I'm giving myself permission that if I need to take a pause, I can take a pause. And I'm giving myself permission to be radically protective of, again, like myself and Miles and Charlie with whatever it is that we need. When I say protective, this isn't like a defense. I'm saying protective to honor our experience as we partake in this holiday together in this new way. And I want to put that out there. If you're going through a divorce, if you're sharing custody and it's the first time you don't have your kids with you, if you're, maybe you lost a pet and now this is a Thanksgiving where you're not going to be feeding your dog turkey under the table. Whatever the transition is that you're in, to give yourself permission to just intuitively go through and not have to partake in every single tradition, to not have to go to every single party, to not have to get up early and put on this outfit that you want to, to be authentic. Give yourself permission to be authentic in whatever way that the holidays come up for you. And that's a self job. I'm not saying authentic like you have to get in a fight with somebody you don't like what they say, but you can say like, hey, I'm going to take a break for this, or this isn't for me, or I don't want to do this family politic talk at the dinner table. Give yourself permission to do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. And then if you share it with somebody, that helps too, because then you have somebody who might like see that you're struggling before even you're seeing it, and they can kind of help intervene. I mean, I've got really good friends who have done that with me a million times. They can see I'm shutting down. They can see like, hey, I need to pull her out. I need to, like, are you okay? You can invite other people in to do that, a significant other, partner, whatever. And then I would say limit substances. If you've got any sort of toxicity, if you're not celebratory substances, don't be careful.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of people do like share wine or something at a dinner. And I think avoiding that is actually really important. Not, it's just maybe when you get home, you can have a glass of wine if that's something you really want. But it just adds to the chance of saying something that you didn't want to say, because people lose their filters.
Right. It's like gasoline on a fire if you're not careful, especially it just depends on your dynamics, but really going in with a game plan and also giving yourself permission to take a break if you need to, whether that be getting up from the table, refilling your beverage, going to the bathroom and doing a reset in your brain, and asking yourself, is it worth your energy of getting into it with whatever conversation is going on? To bring a little humor to it, I always think of that Adele skit every single year from SNL.
I love that.
So if you want to Google,
can you please share that again, Joy?
We'll share it again, but it's
every year you're going to get this skit because
you're going to get the skit because it's so on point, and it's so important to remember that every family is going to deal with the dynamics. And also we are in a very dicey political climate where people are going to have real interesting opinions that they feel like they have to share. And you might just need to play this Adele skit before you meet to say, look, we're going to draw some boundaries and we're not talking about politics at the table, or this is what I will talk about or what I won't talk about. So anyway, that's something too that you can think about. And then also, if you've never seen The Bear, watch the Thanksgiving episode, because that also will make you feel extremely normal, because it's one of the best depictions of family dynamics in the holidays that I have ever seen in my entire life. It's normal. It's going to happen, and protect your peace. I can't stress that enough.
And I would say too, along those same lines, Joy, be prepared. Be prepared, meaning have your exit plan if you need to. When somebody's gossiping, I'll say, oh, I don't care to hear about that person who's not here, but how are you? I want to know how you're doing. If it's about politics, I don't care to talk about that. I want to know how you're doing. How are you in your community? How are you with your family? You can keep redirecting. And if the redirect doesn't work, then you can just state the boundary. Yeah, I'm not participating in that. And it doesn't mean, one of the biggest things I think where we kind of fuck up in these things is we go in hoping for a different holiday than the one we've had for the past 20 years.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so there's a thing in therapy, it's called radical acceptance. And radical acceptance means that we honor our experience and we also use the logic of having acceptance. Like, yes, my I don't know, so-and-so is going to talk about politics and is going to go for the jugular. Rather than being like, I can't believe Uncle so-and-so did this, you're like, that's what Uncle so-and-so does.
Always does.
Yeah, you accept that that's what they do, and then you have compassion for yourself. This is uncomfortable, but you're not participating because you're in acceptance and you're not arguing with reality. I can't believe so-and-so, brought that shitty side dish. Well, they've done it for 20 years, okay? They don't care. They brought the can of whatever. So we stop fighting with reality. I can't believe so-and-so's late. So-and-so's always late. Let's stop fighting with reality and let's lean into acceptance. And when we lean into acceptance, okay, here's the mic drop. We don't needlessly suffer. We suffer because we're humans. Needless suffering can come from lots of things, but a big one, arguing with reality. You're just fighting with reality. It's like, stop fighting with reality. You have to accept it and then do what you can within your capabilities, within your behaviors. Okay, that's what I've got, Laugh Cry Club people. Accept and embrace yourself.
I think we need to end there because that is a mic drop, and hopefully these tips help. Really, at the end of the day, it's protecting yourself. It's going into a situation with a plan, armored up, if you will. Put on your armor and be prepared to take care of yourself. So hopefully it is also something you can find enjoyable, spending time with people and eating good food. Okay.
Ooh, and that's it. Focus on your intention. What's my intention? My intention is to connect with my nieces and nephew. My intention is to eat as much food as humanly possible. My intention is to eat and take a nap. My intention is to see how so-and-so is doing. My intention is to just show up for 30 minutes. Set that before you go.
My intention is to find the good in people.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Because everyone's just doing the best that they can.
Everyone's doing the best they can.
We don't like to believe that, but
it's
true.
So true. If you think about everyone, just these little people that were young once that had traumas, and we are just walking around projecting all over the place. So, all right. Well, wrapping up this episode, next week we are doing something different. So it's going to be the first week of December for that episode, which is wild to think about. We are going to be releasing an episode that we are trying something new just for the sake of holiday schedules, is kind of like a walk and talk with each one of us doing a recording for some questions we're going to answer. So we'll leave that as a surprise, but it might have to do with something around the end of the year, reflecting on the year, lessons we've learned. If you want to submit any questions for us, we'd gladly accept them. laughcryclub@gmail.com. We're on all the socials at Laugh Cry Club. We've been really kicking it on TikTok, which I am having so much fun with. So as always, the best way to support this show right now is to share with a friend. Leave us a rating and review on whichever podcast app you're listening. It will take 2 seconds to do that and really, really goes a long way. So we really appreciate the time you spend with us. We send you all the love for a wonderful Thanksgiving. We are grateful for you, listener, because we've been doing this for over a year now. This is episode, I think, 71, which is wild to think about. But on the note of gratitude, we are just so grateful that you guys are here in the club. We will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
That's life, baby.